これはゴブリン大使だ。
皆様、敵は高2ではありません。混沌の魔人を四方世界へ招かんとする祈らぬ者ども、邪神の輩です。ある冒険者がこのことを。
So I gotta be real. The ending narrative of nothing will change kind of makes me disinterested. Now, here's the thing. I get it. The show is called Goblin Slayer. The show is at its core about goblin slaying. But this show has also introduced a nuanced plethora of characters that are more than just go out, kill, right? At least that's how I feel. And the Goblin Slayer himself as a character has grown from the beginning to now. And the people around him have grown. Their feelings towards him, whatever, have grown. I'm sure the feelings to him, to them, have grown. So saying something like, all there is goblin slaying, nothing will ever change, kind of makes me go down two paths. It's either A, this is the end, we're not going to get any more Goblin Slayer after this, or the second path is we do, but this is solidifying that don't expect us to do anything different. We're going to save more people, and maybe some things happen around Goblin Slayer, but Goblin Slayer is going to just be Goblin Slayer, and don't expect anything else but goblin slaying, and maybe more quirky characters come in and go out, and it's goblin. That just makes me disinterested. I do think the best part of this season was, I mean, for me, it's the Sword Saint. I like her fear of goblins. I like her different personalities. I like her nuance. I like what she brings to the world. I like what she brings to the world of Goblin Slayer. I like what she brings to Goblin Slayer. Like, she's probably the closest thing. You know, we think about Cowgirl and Guild Girl and Saint Girl and Elf Girl, and yeah, they're physically close to Goblin Slayer, and they're close to him. But when you think about somebody making that next step into, like, I want to be with Goblin Slayer, I think the Sword Saint's the closest to that, because she continues to not really hide her affection. Now, she kind of gets the Heisman trophied a lot by Goblin Slayer, which she likes. You know, she obviously wants to breach that wall, but she does like the fact that he keeps, like, inadvertently Heisman trophying her. So you can see that it likes that. But then, again, my thought process then goes back to, well, why give a shit about this one character or any of the other four girls if they just establish at the end of this show, at the end of this season, nothing but goblin slaying. I'm a goblin slayer. Don't expect anything else but goblin slaying. It's like, well, then I can't even get excited about the potential of what's after the goblins have been slayed, you know, or is there any type of, like, will he be another type of adventure? Will he give it up? Is he going to have a redemption story? Is there enough goblins to slay? When does the next thing that matters to him more? Is it Cowgirl? Is it Saint Girl, Elf Girl, Guild Girl, Sword Saint, you know, Princess Lady? You know, is it one of them that ends up mattering more than goblin slaying? Is it his sister alive or dead or whatever? Like, you know, the potential for the things that could happen, they just went, not happening. Goblin slaying only. It's like, well, that's kind of shit. You know, it makes me go, like, the next season, I probably just won't watch if there is one. And if there's not one, it's like, well, you know, this is it. I'm like, Goblin Slayer, Goblin Slayer. It's like, okay, well, okay, then that's cool, you know? Some are going to like it, some are not. I will say, though, you know, to kind of put a bow in it, like, I think this season was bad. I think the last episode, this episode, Demon Hand, really cool. I think the seeing the princess, you know, kind of like say, oh, my new path is to be a cleric. I'm gonna be a worshiper of the godmother or earth mother, whatever. I think that's cool. Saint Girl, seeing her kind of like her progress as a adventurer, not only going to that next class, but then being challenged, rising up to the challenge, overcoming the challenge, getting faced with adversity, overcoming that. I think it was a really good arc for the Saint Girl over the past few episodes from the original one, because they made a focus of her a lot this season. So from the original one of partnering up with Red Hair Boy, getting to that next class because she was the only one who didn't. And then this whole arc here with her and realizing something in herself, obviously realizing the love of her having with Goblin Slayer, realizing that she doesn't match up to the Sword Saint, so she needs to kind of work her way up to really like, you know, love him, I guess, or whatever. Like that's an arc, her power arc, like getting closer to the Earth Mother, understanding that Earth Mother can cause death and what that means. Her arc has been pretty good, I think. But the last episode I thought was really good of this show. I just don't like the little last piece of the we only Goblin slay. And then obviously it's like, well, if I take away this, the other half of the season, if not a little bit more, sucked. The only reason the second arc didn't suck for me was more Sword Saint and more progress with Saint Girl. I think those are the two things. But the elf stuff, the elf marriage, the red hair boy arc, like all of that, it was just really boring and it wasn't really good this season. So I would say Goblin Slayer season 2, right? Season 2? Yeah, I would say Goblin Slayer season 2, 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5 out of 10 for me. And it would be lower if it wasn't because of the good things that it did. Still, I would put it at fine to good. It would be right there between fine and good. I think if I only focus on the things I like, good. If I only focus on the things I didn't like, or if it was like a mix of both, it was fine. So it's fine to good. 6.5 out of 10. It's like if you were put like a video game, it's like 6.5 out of 10. You would say it's playable. You're probably gonna get some enjoyment out of it, but it's not a masterpiece. It's not a great game of the year. It's just like it's something to waste some time in. You'll get a little out of it. I think that's where I'm at with Goblin Slayer season 2. Anyways, though, that's been me, guys. I'm gonna see you guys in the winter for a bunch of new anime. I appreciate you guys being with me all season long here. It's been a journey, an up and down and up and down and up and down journey with Goblin Slayer. Some good, some bad. But I appreciate you guys being here. Join me in the winter for a buttload of new anime. We're going to be watching maybe a couple of returning ones like 𝐒𝐻𝐚𝐧𝐽𝐸. And then we'll probably just be focusing on a bunch of new anime. All right? I'll see you then. Peace out, my friends. Merry Christmas.